On this week's show, Greg Gidicsin interviews writer Stephen Wong, Justin Wong recaps Lawrenceville Comic-Con, Annie Hait sits down with Lawrenceville Chief Financial Officer Wes Brooks, and Matthew McChesney brings us along the Whedon Park and Main Street cleanup. Lawrenceville's 10-minute newscast begins right now. From the studios inside the Lawrenceville School's historic Pop Hall, this is L10 with Aiden Duffy. This Monday, vice presidential candidates for honor and discipline, social and academics gave speeches to the fourth form class. Honor and discipline candidates Nicole Lim and Bobby Vogel, social candidates Cully Bogard and Victoria Cruz, and academic candidates Siona Harahan and Eric Chang were voted past the preliminary round and will speak at next week's all-school meeting. Following the results, we had the chance to talk to the candidates about their platforms.
My main goal as honor rep, if elected, would be to provide the student perspective needed to connect the administration to the student body in meaningful ways to make sure that no one ever feels like they were treated unfairly.
My campaign is grounded on two basic promises. The first being the establishment of something I would like to call an Honor Council curriculum. My second promise is directed towards anybody who finds themselves in the unfortunate position of a disciplinary council hearing.
I want to make sure that every social event is to the best it can be, and I want to make sure that you guys are listened to.
Ultimately, if elected, my goal would be to promote a sense of interconnectedness and unwavering spirit throughout campus.
My platform is designed to make student life better in consultations, in student feedback, and in study hall.
I would work to make sure that everyone receives the help they need to organize their hectic Lawrenceville lives while ensuring that everyone receives the support they need to excel academically.
You can catch the full version of those interviews on the Lawrenceville School YouTube channel. Reporter Nicholas Nahamis, Lawrenceville class of 2007, was part of the Miami Herald's 2017 Pulitzer Prize winning team, contributing to the paper's investigation of the Panama Papers. Nahamis, once a member of the Cleef House and opinions editor of the Lawrence during his time at Lawrenceville, worked to expose several high-profile corporations and individuals for tax fraud and money laundering. Science Master John Clark's collaborative research paper was recently featured in the Nature magazine's research highlights. Clark and four others co-authored the article, which focused on hummingbirds' pollination and its correlation with data for over 500 plant species. Fifth former Chloe Jones will be playing in the Under Armour All-American Lacrosse Tournament this July. She is one of 44 seniors around the country selected to represent their respective region after nominations by either their club or high school coaches. Congratulations and best of luck to her this summer. As a part of the school's National Library Week celebration, Stephen Wong, Lawrenceville class of 1985, gave a talk about his new book, Game-Worn Baseball Treasures, from the game's greatest heroes and moments. Our news reporter, Greg Gidicsin, recaps the lecture and gives us a look at Wong's personal collection of historic baseball uniforms and memorabilia.
Thank you, Aiden. Interweaving American history with baseball history, Stephen Wong, class of '85, answers some of my questions and talks about his new book, Game-Worn Baseball Treasures. So every uniform that you own has a history lesson to it. Can you describe what this one, what the story behind it is?
Okay, so this uniform was worn by one of the greatest managers in baseball history, John McGraw. He was a manager of the New York Giants starting in around 1902 all the way essentially until the early 1930s, 1932. And this uniform is significant because he wore it in the 1913 and 1914 World Tour. So it was basically, this was a time to share the beauty and love of baseball throughout other countries around the world, and also to promote his sporting goods brand, Spalding, which still exists today.
What got you into collecting? Why did you choose to be a collector and collect baseball uniforms out of all the different memorabilia that baseball has?
To me, game-worn uniforms are so significant because they came off the players' backs.
Can you explain briefly how the baseball uniform has changed over time in America?
Well, in the turn of the century, in the dead ball era, they were made of a very heavy wool flannel fabric. They had to be made of a durable, fabric.
So here we have a Joe DiMaggio game-worn jersey. Can you explain the significance of this particular uniform?
So this is his full uniform that he wore at home games at Yankee Stadium during his rookie season in 1936. It's significant not only because it's his rookie year, but also because that was the only year that DiMaggio wore number 9.
Thank you, Greg. Lawrenceville's annual Comic-Con featured an afternoon of games, competitions, house challenges, and more. News reporter Justin Wong was at the event.
Thanks, Aiden. I'm now outside the Bunn Library with Miss Sinai. She's now going to take us around the Bunn Library, look at the different events happening at this annual Comic-Con. We're now at the atrium of the library, so what's happening here?
So in the library lobby, we have Quidditch Pong going on. We have an artist alley, which we display some artwork that students have submitted based on their interests, like what fandoms they're interested in and their hobby artwork outside of art class. So we also have bago or cornhole going on too, and some coloring. This is basically where everything just sort of comes together, the merging point of all the different events.
What's happening here?
So this is the McGraw reading room. Right now we have air hockey and foosball. We also had some guest artists come in, artists who are based out of Philadelphia behind you, who are showcasing some of their work and also selling prints and different things for students who are interested in art.
We're now upstairs in the Reynolds Fine Arts reading room. Can you talk about what's happening here?
Yeah, so this is basically the video game area. We have 4 different video game stations set up. So we have Just Dance over here, which will turn into a Just Dance house competition later around 8:30. We also have a PS3, a GameCube, and a Wii U. And there's just various games, so people can come in all day from 4 to 10 and just play any of the video games that they're interested in. We really start in the beginning of the year to plan it, but this is our 3rd one, so we sort of have just taken what worked over the past couple of years and then keep those things and then cut other things that don't work. So this year is really an emphasis on gaming. There's always something to do anytime that someone comes in. There's something going on. So in the evening, there's a little bit more things, like there's a Harry Potter trivia tournament going on right now in the archives reading room, so that can get pretty heated. 3 different rounds of harder and harder Harry Potter trivia questions, and then there'll be 2 prize winners for that.
This year's Comic-Con is a great success and will surely be a tradition at Lawrenceville. This is Justin Wong at the Bunn Library. Back to you, Aiden.
Thank you, Justin. This Wednesday, Lawrenceville Chief Financial Officer Wes Brooks gave a talk as part of the What Matters to Me and Why series. Brooks offered personal insight on contemporary issues, as well as his experience in the corporate world and at Lawrenceville, both as a student and an administrator. Following his talk, senior news correspondent Hait had a chance to sit down with Brooks for an interview.
So you've gone to see Lawrenceville from many different lights, whether it be as a student, as a parent, or even a member of the faculty and staff here at Lawrenceville. You mentioned that Lawrenceville hasn't changed much in terms of the social architecture. What would you define as fundamental Lawrenceville?
Fundamental Lawrenceville, so it's the layering of our grades, so we don't mix second formers with fifth formers, and that allows second formers to grow well and to grow as a class. So the house system gets kids together at a pre-political age and throws them together on the same teams, and they forget their skin color, they forget their bias, they become mates, and they grow strong and confident because they're in a tiny little society that's competitive. And so that's really powerful, and then the fifth formers are getting ready for college and they're given freedoms and nice dining halls and fun, great house masters.
So you briefly mentioned a love of nature. Have you incorporated that passion into your work at Lawrenceville?
I was able to do that working closely with Sam Kossoff and the Sustainability Initiative, which was running very strong in my first few years. And it really culminated in the development of the solar field. There was a lot of thought on the design of the solar field. We could have done fixed panels, setting it on plastic and gravel. For example, at 30 acres on farmland, we sought a higher mission. So we raised the panels, we put them on axes that turned, and therefore letting rain and sun on the ground. and then we planted the ground with clover, which regenerates the soil. So our thought was to let's not only have solar energy, but let's take this chance to renew soil, which, because it's been farmed for 200 years, is virtually useless. And over a period of 30 years, the solar field will be there. The soil will be fresh and fully restored. So we'll get back a great farm facility. And soil, soil in America is good soil that's hard to come by.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brooks.
You're welcome. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you, Annie. Lawrenceville's community service program is a great opportunity for students to volunteer their time and talents off campus. In early April, Laurentians spent several hours at the Whedon Park for a spring cleanup. Features correspondent Matt McChesney provides us with an overview of the afternoon.
Thank you, Duffy. I'm here outside the Whedon Park cleanup talking to students and volunteers about this community service event. I'm here with Austin and Campbell, who are helping out today with Lawrenceville Main Street's community cleanup. What are you guys doing to help clean up?
We split up into groups, and some of us came over here and started picking up trash and splitting up into recycling and just regular trash. We're also cleaning up the parking lot areas by taking out or raking some of the leaves and putting them in garbage bags. And we're kind of working our way back to the park that's right next to the post office.
And how do events like this help our Lawrenceville community?
I was thinking anytime you can get out and pick up some trash and, just help the environment in any way you can, it's going to have a positive impact on the community in Lawrenceville.
I'm here with TJ and Ethan, two Lawrenceville volunteers at the Whedon Park cleanup today. So what are you guys doing today?
So we're out here to clean up a little on Main Street. There's a lot of trash out here, so they told us to come out and we could help clean up the outside area.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun out here with some friends, cleaning up. It's always a good time.
How do community service days like this affect our Lawrenceville community?
Coming out here, it's really fun. We get to all come out here together, help clean up the area, help impact the community.
Well, it's great getting out, seeing friends, help cleaning up. I'm having a great time, so that's really all that matters.
From Lawrenceville Main Street, back to you, Aiden.
Thank you, Matt. That is our show for Friday, April 21st. From all of us here at L10, thank you for watching and good night.